All right, welcome back. We continue. Now, Call Us Crazy. It's a fast-paced, multi-conventional play that strikes a harmonious balance between sharp social commentary and rib-cracking comedy, reflecting the complexities of post-apartheid South Africa. So it's written and directed by talented Josias Dos Moleele. The play invites audiences to engage with the pressing social issues of our time, all whilst being entertained by its wit and its humour. As we know, originally it was staged back in 1994 with an all-male cast. So Call Us Crazy has undergone a significant transformation, and it now features an exceptionally talented all-women ensemble consisting of Khutjo Green, Momo Matsunyane, as well as Noko Maboya. So the change not only signifies a progressive step towards gender representation and inclusivity in theatre, it sparks various other conversations as well. So on that note, Josias is in studio as well as Momo Matsunyane. Good morning to the both of you, and thank you for joining us at this hour.
Yeah.
Let's look at the transition from 94, perhaps into 2024.
Yes.
30 years in our own democracy, post-apartheid South Africa, that all-female cast.
Oh man, I think thank you for the introduction. It's beautiful.
I mean, you've done the work.
Yeah, when you're saying this, I'm like, wow, is this the show? But it's 30 years,
Yes.
and you realize 1994 to 2024, it's 30 years of democracy's journey, and the play was actually talking about the journey of South Africa, really, and we're talking about the time when Mandela just become president, and we don't know what's going to happen. So we are like speaking to the future. And I placed this in a male-dominated space at the time, roadworks. But now I thought it'll be interesting that 30 years, let's unpack this now with an all-female cast, women working in the roadwork. What will that look like? And it was so amazing having, talented people like Momo and Khutjo and Noko who would actually say, from a women's perspective, they helped me quite a lot in terms of the journey. So.
Momo, let me bring you to that conversation and talk to us about the importance of seeing it through, that women's lens.
I think a black female-centered narrative is important, and particularly when unpacking politics. I think even in our government structures or spaces, it's mostly male-dominated, and so to have an opportunity to unpack what life must be like for these women who are trying to forge a life for themselves, who are in an industry that is dominated by men, and in our context of the play, a white man. And so how do they fight the structures? How do they overcome the challenges that they're faced with?
Was it frustrating at any point? Because we're looking at the contemporary realities, we're looking at the social political constructs, the root causes of it, white patriarchy, white supremacy. Are we rearranging the chairs on the decks of the Titanic? Are we actually making progress? What did you come to understand about this 30 years in?
It feels like there's been some progress in some areas, but it also still feels very backward. And the play also really interrogates, the Orwellian statement of absolute power corrupts absolutely. And what happens when we are in those positions of power? Do we begin to perpetuate the same things as former oppressors, or do we really make critical change in society?
A reenactment. And I want to look at the style, the creative process as well that was undergone. It's fast-paced, right? There's also that comedic element. So talk to us about how intentional you are about bringing that forth and evoking through those emotions.
Look, talking about 30 years, obviously you can't say through just the narrative of three characters only. So the beauty about our style is that it's satire. And it allows for people to become multiple characters. So Momo playing half-half, and also play of words of symbolism is very huge in the play. She's colored, she's half-half, and in a moment of, old South Africa, new South Africa, where am I? I'm marginalized and so on. And then we have Auntie, played by Khutjo Green, and also the term of the auntie being the one who works in the kitchen, and now Auntie running her own business. And we have Fat, who's just like taking a taker. A take of information. So those symbols are there, but they're playing other multiple roles, because if you want to tell Parliament, if you want to talk about people in the streets, so they're playing beautiful characters that are relatable. And because it's comedy, we only laugh at what we can relate to. And that's the beauty about what's happening. You'll see the talent that they do. Oh man, I just laugh every night.
Call us crazy. So let's reimagine this, right?
Yes,
so
yes.
30 years into our democracy, if we're going to navigate these next 30 years, what are we reimagining? Let me start with you, Josias, and then Momo, you'll wrap us.
Okay. Just say that again. Just
so 30 years into, I mean, call us crazy, right? And we have to dare to dream and be audacious, right?
Absolutely.
You've already dispelled some of the narratives about patriarchy and white supremacy. How do we reimagine the next 30 years?
Sure, very good question, right? Because I think you're speaking now to what we were talking about earlier about the AI, and then where are we with that, right? And as humankind, you know, the things, you know, go back to the beginning, you know, we go retro yet in the future. So I think that's, for me, I look at it, how exciting, because we don't know. How exciting, we're going to be writing a new canvas and painting on a new canvas. But we should be able to see new things emerging. And I want to see the Gen Zs now at the helm. I want to see how that becomes a language.
And for you, Momo, the fact that nothing is certain makes everything possible. It seems that's what Josias is alluding to. How do you want to conclude?
I think I envision a space or a future where we are empowered and that we are not dependent on a particular system in order for us to thrive and create and build. And so that's what I really wish for the next 30 years, and for us to grow as an industry as well, and to get the correct financial support that we need, so that we also end the narrative of artists starving and dying without anything to their name. So how do we reinvent the system to suit us?
Absolutely.
So representation, inclusivity, equity, equality. Right, we'll leave it there. Director of Call Us Crazy, Josias Dos Moleele, and award-winning actor-director Momo Motsunyane, chatting to us this morning about the play, of course, that unfolds through a series of intertwined stories and characters that encapsulates the chaos, the contradictions, and the camaraderie of a contemporary South African life that he has into our democracy. Let's take a quick ad break. We'll be right back after this.